You opened the app last week. Maybe it was late at night. Maybe it was a Sunday morning with coffee going cold on the counter. You pulled up your retirement account, looked at the balance, and then did something that millions of people do every single day. You closed it. Not because the number was necessarily bad, but because you had no idea what to do with it. Maybe you're 47. Maybe you're 53. Maybe you wake up some mornings wondering whether you've already missed your chance. You see people online talking about million-dollar portfolios and retiring early, and part of you wonders, did I start too late? If you've ever asked yourself that question, this video is for you. Because that feeling, that vague, low-grade anxiety about retirement, is not a money problem. It is a math problem. Specifically, it is a missing numbers problem. Most people over 40 are navigating toward retirement without a destination. They're moving, but they have no coordinates. And you cannot know if you are on track if you don't know where the track is supposed to end. Today, I am going to give you 3 numbers. Not ranges, not estimates, 3 specific numbers that you can calculate for your own life in the next 10 minutes. And once you have them, that retirement account balance stops being a source of anxiety and starts being a progress report. I'm Jack. This is Midlife Money, and these 3 numbers are the foundation of everything else.
Before we get to the numbers, let me tell you what most retirement advice gets completely wrong. The advice you hear most often sounds like this: save more, start earlier, max out your 401k, eliminate debt. All of that advice is directionless without a target. Telling someone to save more without telling them what they are saving toward is like telling someone to drive faster without telling them where they are going. The effort is real, the motion is real, but without coordinates, you can drive your entire career and still end up somewhere you never intended. Here is something worth knowing before we go further. Research on retirement readiness consistently shows that many Americans approaching retirement have far less saved than they think they need to. But here is the encouraging part. Retirement success is not determined by where you start. It is determined by whether you know your numbers and take action.
The GPS on your phone does not tell you to drive north. It gives you a destination, calculates the route, and tells you exactly where to turn. That is what these 3 numbers do. They give you the destination, the route, and the turn-by-turn directions, all from 3 calculations. Number 1, your retirement income target. This is the number most people have never actually calculated, and it is the one that everything else depends on. Here is how you find it. Take your current annual household income, multiply it by 0.8. That is your retirement income target, the amount of money you will need your retirement to generate every single year.
Why 80% and not 100%? Because in retirement, several major expenses go away or shrink significantly. You are no longer contributing to retirement accounts. You are no longer paying payroll taxes on earned income. Your work-related expenses disappear. Now, here is where people panic. They see this number and think it is impossible. If you are earning $80,000 a year, your retirement income target is $64,000. That sounds like a lot to generate every year without a paycheck. But here is what most people forget. You will not generate that entire amount from savings alone. Social Security will cover a portion. For most middle-income earners, somewhere between $18,000 and $24,000 a year. So the real number you need your savings to generate is your retirement income target, minus your guaranteed income sources. For our $80,000 earner, that might be $64,000 minus $22,000 in Social Security, leaving $42,000 per year that your retirement portfolio needs to produce. That is number 1. Write it down. Number 2, your retirement savings target. Now that you know how much your portfolio needs to generate annually, you can calculate how large that portfolio needs to be. This is where a simple rule called the 25x rule changes everything. The 25x rule says that to sustainably withdraw money from a retirement portfolio without running out, you need to have saved approximately 25 times your annual withdrawal amount. This is based on the 4% withdrawal rule, one of the most widely studied principles in retirement planning.
Let's run the math on our example.
Our $80,000 earner needs their portfolio to generate $42,000 per year. Multiply $42,000 by 25. That gives you $1,050,000. That is their retirement savings target. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. That number feels enormous, and I want to address that directly because this is where most people shut down. $1 million sounds like an impossible pile of cash, but that is not what it is. That portfolio is not a number sitting in an account looking impressive. It is an income-producing machine. Think of it as your personal pension. Its job is not to sit there. Its job is to pay you every single month after your paycheck stops. When you see it that way, the goal shifts from saving a number to building a machine. This number is not a judgment. It is a destination. And every dollar you have saved already is a dollar closer. Compounding means the dollars you save today do not just add, they multiply. And the gap between where you are and where you need to be is exactly what number 3 is designed to close.
Number 3, your savings rate target. This is the number that tells you what you need to do right now, today, this month. Your savings rate target is the percentage of your gross income that needs to go into retirement accounts consistently. Savings rates matter more than investment selection. Choosing between 2 good index funds will not change your retirement outcome. Increasing your savings rate from 10% to 20% absolutely can. The rate is the lever. Everything else is noise. If you are in your early 40s with some savings already built up, a savings rate of 15% of gross income puts most people on a reasonable trajectory toward their target by 65.
If you are in your late 40s and feel behind, moving that savings rate to 20% and capturing every available tax-advantaged account, including the catch-up contributions available after age 50, begins to close the gap meaningfully. If you are in your early 50s and the honest math tells you the gap is significant, 25% or higher is not extreme. It is what the numbers require. And if you are sitting there thinking, Jack, I am 56 and nowhere near these numbers, do not turn off the video. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Many people dramatically improve their retirement outlook in their 50s through higher savings rates, catch-up contributions, delayed retirement, and strategic Social Security decisions. The window is not closed, but it does require knowing your numbers and acting on them. At this stage of your career, you are likely in or near your peak earning years. The income is there. The question is whether the habits are. The savings rate is the lever you control most directly. Market returns fluctuate. Time is fixed, but your savings rate is a decision you can change, starting with your next paycheck.
Now let me show you how the 3 numbers work together and why the person who understands this will always outperform the person who doesn't. Imagine 2 people. Sarah is 45 and has $180,000 saved. Mike is 45 and has $90,000 saved. Sarah assumes she is doing great and never actually checks her numbers. Mike calculates his 3 retirement numbers, discovers his savings rate needs to increase, and makes the adjustment. 20 years later, Mike retires comfortably. Sarah does not. Not because she started with more, but because Mike had a destination and a plan.
Retirement is not won by the person with the biggest account balance today. It is won by the person who understands their numbers and acts on them consistently. Your retirement income target tells you what lifestyle you are protecting. Your retirement savings target tells you the portfolio size that funds that lifestyle. Your savings rate target tells you the monthly behavior that builds that portfolio. They are not 3 separate calculations. They are one connected system. A change in any one of them changes the other 2.
Here's the recap. Number 1, your retirement income target. Your current income multiplied by 0.8 minus your guaranteed income sources. Number 2, your retirement savings target. Your annual portfolio withdrawal need multiplied by 25. Number 3, your savings rate target. 15% in your early 40s, 20% in your late 40s, 25% or higher in your 50s if the gap requires it. Open the app again.
This time, you know what you were looking at. You have a destination, you have a route, you have the turn-by-turn directions. I have put together a free retirement number calculator that walks you through all 3 calculations in under 5 minutes. The link is in the description below. And before you leave, drop your age in the comments. Just your age. That is it. I want to know how many members of the Midlife Money community are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. I read every single one. If this gave you the clarity you have been looking for, hit like and subscribe. New video every week, built specifically for where you are right now. See you next week.